Okay, I think we're live, but we're going to go check.
I think so.
We're going to go check in here. I'm going to refresh. I'm going to hit the button. And it still says starting soon. So there's usually a 30 seconds, sometimes a little longer.
Delay.
Watching us. We don't know if we're live yet.
Alive, yes, but live, who knows?
Alive, live.
Alive, oh.
Wait, I think so.
I think so.
We got it. We're going to go. There we go. Okay, everybody, we are live from New York. Ellie Walsh.
And Carol Makowski, hi.
And we are here doing the Law of Success book from Napoleon. 30 seconds, sometimes. Uh-oh. Do you hear my thing?
Yes, I
do. You have a window open, Carol? Carol?
Alive, yes, but live.
Carol? Are you listening to me?
Yes, I am. No, the only thing I have open is Google Hangouts.
We got it. Shut it down. There we go.
We need Google Hangouts alive.
Live from New York. I can't believe this. Walsh
and Carol Makowski, hi.
And we are here doing the Law of Success book from... I found it. Okay, let's do this again.
All right.
This is like a comedy show. That was me, by the way. Okay, we are really live now. Without echo, from New York, I am Ellie Walsh.
And I am Carol Makowski, hi.
And we are here to do the Law of Success book by Napoleon Hill. And tonight we are on lesson 8, Habit of Doing More Than Paid For.
Right.
Some people might not like the way that sounds.
Right. Right.
So, you want to get us up to speed, Miss Carol?
Well, we started off with the introduction, which was about the mastermind. We went through lesson 1, a definite chief aim, your goal, your vision. We went through lesson 2, self-confidence. Lesson 3, the habit of saving. Lesson 4, initiative and leadership. 5, imagination. 6, enthusiasm. 7, self-control, that was the last time. And now 8, the habit of doing more than paid for, and we are just past the halfway mark. So, the habit of getting paid, doing more than getting paid for.
Getting paid for more than you do, I like that one.
Yeah, I like that one better. Personally, I had a little difficulty with this chapter in the beginning until Ellie and I had a little discussion, and she straightened me out. I've had many jobs where I'm salaried. I get paid for what I do by the week or 2 weeks or whatever. And I'm also a social worker and am interested in people's rights and what have you, and involved in politics. So the habit of doing more than getting paid for kind of rubbed me, because I'm thinking, yeah, well, I mean, corporate greed and all that they're expecting that from people today, to do more than what you're getting paid for. Sometimes not only to be acknowledged and get a raise, but sometimes just to hang on to your job. And that's what I was thinking of. But then we had a little discussion. We talked more about what Napoleon was talking about, more than likely, was getting involved. And the idea is to get into something that you really like. And at that point, when you like something, and he even uses the word love, when you love your job, or you love the person that you're doing your job for, it becomes effortless, and you don't really mind doing more, and sometimes you even look for more to do. And there is, underlying that, the law of, let me just get his wording of it, the law of increasing returns, which means that when you do more than what's expected, your bosses are more aware of you, and you're also likely in the long run to get remunerated more than what you had already initially started out with. So that it could be a good payoff for it, even though that might not be your goal or your intention, I should say. Also, for example, if you're in your own business, or if you're in somebody else's business too, if you give a helping hand to someone else and help them along the way, you feel good. You feel happy within yourself, and it's something that's noticed by powers that be, if you will. So,
I want to bring this into the real land, into real world.
Yeah, I just threw a few things out there, and where do you want to go with it?
Yeah, well, because, you know, when you talk about this thing about doing more than you're paid for, or I would even go as far to say doing more than you're expected. You know, I think where a lot of people make a big mistake is they look for their return from where they put out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we can go right into the law of attraction here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And just the saying of what goes around comes around. So if you're a person that is willing to go the extra mile, to take the extra step, whether you're getting paid for it or not, you know, are you going to get it back from those people or that job where you did it? Might not. And so if you're looking at it like that, you're looking at it in the whole, I think, in the wrong way, you know. But if you're a person that's out there and you're giving out, okay, if that's just law of attraction, you're going to get back. Now, here's what happens. We think it's supposed to come from him or her because I did it for them.
Right, right.
First of all, right there and then you have a really fucked up vibration. Sorry, you do, okay? And I can say that because I've been there, done that. I lived like that, you know. And when you finally let go of that stuff and you just go out and you know, if you know that you can give somebody something more, okay, why wouldn't you do it? You know, in terms of help or even in your job. You want to know what? I worked jobs. Years ago, when the bank was switching over, when I was in a bank, a lot of years ago, and they were switching over into a new computer system, first time really computer system for them. I worked 7 days a week for several weeks. Now, I was like 19 or 20, so, you know, you could go out all night and still get to work. But I wasn't really paid for all of it. Now, I ended up getting fired from that job. That's a whole nother story, okay? It's a whole nother story. So, did I get paid back from them? No, I didn't. But you want to know what? I learned a lot when I was there. And I think I just built character because I promise you I was unjustly fired. That's a whole nother story. But obviously within my vibration. So we could do a 4-hour Google Hangout on that one, and we won't. So it's about, and you said it, when you do some more, you know, you're doing it for, you feel good. You feel good. Mm. I love that he started this chapter with love.
Yes, yes, that was, I think, his opening paragraph, right?
You know, he really did, and he made a statement here that when you're doing work just for the dollars, that work is seldom liked. And you said then to me, a lot of people are in that scenario, and I agree with you, because when I coach people on one-to-one, that's probably the biggest complaint I get. I don't like my job. I don't like my job, and I don't make enough money. That's what people say, which is one of the reasons that I went into this business that we're in, because I feel as though we have a avenue for people to find different ways to make extra money and to step into maybe, you know, things that they like. Mm-hmm. And you need to find that out for yourselves. But, you know, that I think is our job in life, and we weren't taught that. We were taught study this, be a lawyer because they make a lot of money, or be a doctor, you know, because my mother said marry a good lawyer or a good doctor. It meant somebody that made a lot of money. Not good people. She meant good. They made a lot of money. So that didn't happen. So, it's that we're not taught to find out what is it that drives us. What is it that we like to do? So as we were going through this chapter, I was thinking about the series I just did, and I did it on. I haven't put it up on YouTube yet. I did it on Facebook. My Facebook page is down here. Ellie Walsh Uplifts. Facebook.com Ellie Walsh Uplifts, because I just did an 11 video series on fulfillment needs. And I know you've been through that, Carol.
Yes.
I know for myself, I got ahas from that. And I think that's the first step. If you're sitting around and you're going, I'm in a job I don't like, or I'm in a career path I don't like, but I'm not sure what I like. See, that's what happens to us. I'm not sure what I like.
Mm-hmm. What
I
do
would
I
say
right.
go through that process.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very, very powerful process. So if you can't find it on the page or what have you, get in touch with me or get in touch with Carol, because we'll send you there. And obviously go back through this book, because there's some points in here I disagree with him. And I think actually if he was still here, okay, he would be we've just gotten a little more advanced in understanding who we are and what we are, but I mean, he's stating it right here, okay? If you do what you love, which means you have to get in touch with yourself, and we're not taught that. If you get in touch with yourself, you will find out where your passions are. If you do what you love, you're not aware of the time getting paid. And then that end up, if you are working for somebody and you like this job and you see that opportunity, you want to know what? If I help that boss out, I learn the job more. There's knowledge gained. Sometimes the pay is knowledge gained. Yes?
Yeah.
And that person is going to be aware of me. So I have an opportunity here because I like this job, or I like this career path, or I want to learn more about this. So I'm going to hang out. He did a lot of stories about people who stayed later after work, and they were just like always around, and the boss was there, and the boss realized, and then the guy became the boss's right-hand man.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're running out of whatever you're doing, even if it's your own damn business, if you're saying, I shut down at 6 o'clock, and you shut down at 6 o'clock, I'm going to tell you, you must be in the wrong business.
Well, I'm just thinking back to various jobs I've had as you're speaking, and I remember some of them. Yeah, I didn't care. I mean, 40 hours, 50 hours, staying till 6, 8 o'clock, didn't matter. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Other jobs, 5 o'clock, out the door. Goodbye.
Right.
I don't owe you nothing. You don't want to pay me enough. That's the way I felt.
But I'm laughing in that because I bet you that they also didn't reach all your fulfillment needs, those jobs.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so that's why I'm saying these people, you need to go in and do that fulfillment needs process. That is huge. That is huge. My good friend and best-selling author, Michael Ozier, he coined this, and he came up with this process. And anybody I work with, I tell them, they need to go through this process. It's an amazing process. I thought I knew me. I've been doing personal development work for a lot of years, okay? And I guess I did this 2-3 years ago. And I'm thinking, I'm going to do it, but whatever. What the hell could I find out about me? Holy crap. I was actually shocked. I think it put some pieces of the puzzle together, and I didn't know that puzzle needed to be put together. That was even more interesting. Like, it made sense to me on why I really liked some of the jobs I was in and why I hated some of the jobs I was in.
Yeah.
And there was it's like, so what, Ellie? And I can't explain so what. There's some kind of a completion that goes on that you go, holy crap, this makes perfect sense. You know, and I guess there's an acknowledgement and a huge acknowledgement of who you are when you do that. So to me, he doesn't say it in that way because we're going back 80 something, 90, I don't know, a lot of years ago, okay? So 86 years ago, something like that. So I do believe when I read in between the lines and knowing what we know today and progressing as we progress today, the big step here is taking the time. And I think as you're going through this book, you don't even realize that those processes are starting to happen with you. You're starting to acknowledge more things about you. You might be getting a little uncomfortable as you're going through this book because that stuff's coming up and you're not used to acknowledging it. So,
go ahead.
No, go.
Okay, I was just going to switch gears a little bit here. He talks about success in terms of you know, doing more than what you're getting paid for and liking your work and wanting to do more, etc. And he says the blockade to success is the feeling that you're being cheated.
Right.
And again, that's what you said. If you look at it more closely in greater depth, it's because you're not being fulfilled. You're not in what you're enjoying. So yeah, you're probably not going to be successful at what you don't like doing. Yeah.
Yeah, so you do feel cheated, don't you? Because in actuality, the inner being is screaming, yo!
Right, right.
It's not where we belong.
Right, exactly.
Right? And so in essence, you're cheating yourself and you're cheating everybody else around you. And you're cheating your entire life, not just your career. So I agree with him when he says, when you're doing work that's just for the money, you know, you're really not going to find happiness. Now, I'm not telling you I never did jobs just for the money. I did. First of all, I think you do jobs in the beginning when you're out there. You're trying to figure out where the hell I belong. What do I want to do? You know, I found out a lot of different jobs that I didn't want to be in. I don't consider that bad. Okay, I see that as an opportunity. And you know, then you're fine tuning. And you know, I finally stepped out and said, no, I can't do this anymore. But then had to grab jobs in between along the way. I did for money. Okay, although some of those jobs I also liked. So there was an advantage. There was a lot of it that I liked. So it still hit some of my fulfillment needs. So it wasn't absolutely horrid. When I was in that crazy intermittent job, please forget it. I think I lasted, I don't know, a couple of days. Or one time I went to do that maid in the hotel. I told you that story.
All right.
I lasted 4 hours.
Well, I was a maid in a hotel once too. I think I lasted 2 days, so I went a little
longer than
was after picking up 500 straight pins off a carpet that somebody.
You know what? There are people that works for.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it works for their family life, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, fits into their schedule. They don't absolutely hate it. It's not against, you know, their visions or what have you, and it might be the conduit to bringing them to where they want to go. So that's another thing. If you can look at a job and use it as a conduit, and at the same time, if you could give more than you're paid for, you might not get anything from that job, but the knowledge and the self-confidence and
self-fulfillment,
oh my God. I mean, you are paid over and over and over again.
Yeah. Well, he brought up, he gave an example of a commune that some people put together, and everybody, nobody got paid for anything except the goods that they produced at the end, and everybody shared in them equally. And each person did whatever job they liked to do. Some guy came in from outside the commune and wanted to join, and he tried one job after another, and some lasted a couple hours, some lasted a day or two, and he didn't like any of them. And he was thinking to himself, maybe I just don't fit here. So finally, the last shot, they gave him a job wheeling bricks from the kiln, I guess, wherever they make them, and piling them up in a place where they were building something. And he loved it. He loved it. Right. He didn't want to be challenged. He didn't want to have responsibility. He just wanted to carry his bricks and pile them up. And then when that job was over, he left because there was nothing else there that he liked to do.
But I mean, so look at that. So he tried all these other jobs. So I've had, when I did my job years, okay, I had a lot of different kind of jobs. I did. You know, finding out all different things about me. I didn't last long. And there was that one job I totally loved, and I left that job to move upstate New York. And I don't know if I ever loved the job before. And now when I look at that and I know my fulfillment needs, I realize it met all of my fulfillment needs. And so had I stayed downstate, I might have stayed in that job. Because I love that whole scenario. There's something in here he talked about where me and Napoleon, I do think I talk to him now, but I wish he was here. I'd sit right across from him. I don't think we'd argue, because I think that he would have progressed just as we've all progressed in this 80-something years. But he talks about resistance and struggle.
Yes, and strength, right.
I knew that would hit my buttons, right?
Right, hit mine too.
We go around and we tote that. I mean, I grew up with that. Work hard, and I'm not saying not to work hard, and I'm not saying not do what you need to do. I just did a damn video about this on Facebook. I think I put that on YouTube also. Work harder or smarter. That thing about work hard, you got to struggle. I'm struggling to do this. I'm struggling to get by. I'm struggling to learn. I'm struggling to do good in my school. I'm struggling on my job. Stop freaking struggling. Because as long as you're struggling, what's your vibration?
More struggle. Right.
Struggle, and the universe, and I'm telling you, just freaking, I don't care if you believe it, okay? I don't care if you don't need to believe it. That's the way the universe works. If you put out struggle, you in essence have an expectation of struggle. And again, I know I grew up with that. Work hard, you got to do it, and don't let them ahead of you, and don't be vulnerable, and all this bull crap. So to me, it's not about struggle. It's about seeing everything, even that thing that I think is shitty. I'm not saying I don't think things are shitty. It's like pissing me off, or that agitates me. I do. But I'm always finding a way to call it an opportunity. Now, maybe the opportunity is, holy crap, I'm not going down that road anymore. That's a good opportunity. You know that, though.
Right.
So that's the one thing I was like, whoops, okay, Napoleon, if you were here, me and you would be talking about this. But I happen to believe he would agree today, because we have progressed in that area of where we realize that we set ourselves up for struggle, and we don't need to do that. If we instead started using the expectation of everything is an opportunity, whether it pisses me off or not, it's still an opportunity. That vibration, and that's just in essence is almost like doing more than you're paid for, because there's a belief level more than you're being paid for at that moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I think maybe he was trying to put a positive fling on that, because he said it's struggle and resistance which leads to strength building. So
I agree with that.
I had a hard time finding
that. They are putting up in the air again that it's good. I mean, you know what? Even in the business we're in, people still talking about working hard. It's, there are days I work lots and lots of hours. I still don't call that working hard.
Well, you enjoy it.
That's what happens. And I do more than I'm paid for. I seen that on the internet. I actually learned that also on the internet when I learned years ago when I got onto forums because I needed help, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I would go into forums and ask a question and then say, I'm a newbie, okay? And people would come in and give me step by step directions. I would come back and say, oh, I did this, I don't understand that. They'd go through it again for me. They got paid nothing. I was on a damn free forum. They didn't know me, okay? And they went out of their way to help me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was like blown away by that. And so to this day, I do that.
Yeah. Well, look at the leaders in our organization. I mean, my God, they put out so much value for nothing, free.
That's
so much information.
They don't have to.
Incredible.
People say, oh, they do that to get paid. You want to know what? They're getting paid. They know how to build the business. They don't need to do what they're doing.
No, they don't.
So, but I know, you go, oh, you're a good, kind soul, Ellie, you help. No, I ain't. Okay, I'm a human being, and I feel good. I feel good when I help somebody else. That's why we all do things, because we feel good. Or we don't want to feel bad. There's a difference there. That's another Google hangout. But there's a difference. There's a difference there. So I agree with this chapter. I don't agree with all the wording. I would like Napoleon to sit down and talk to me about it.
Let me just go back to something you had said earlier, if I may. You had spoken about when you were younger, going from job to job and finding what you liked, what you didn't like, and having your needs fulfilled and not having your needs fulfilled, etc. And he says our life is broken down in this area into two subsets. One is information gathering and organization. Remember way back in I think it was the introduction or possibly chapter 1, he talked about the importance of gathering and organizing information because it gave you power, and power is what you need for success. So, in other words, it's learning what you like and learning what you don't like, learning what you're good at, what you're not so good at, where you need to hone your skills. And then the second part of life is striving for, he says recognition. I don't know if I'd use that word recognition. Success. Striving for fulfillment. And
which goes back to the first part that he talked about, happiness.
Right.
Talked about that, so that's the most important thing.
Several times throughout the chapter, yeah. And he says
talks in here, this is really good for the entrepreneur, because he talks in here about how his wife was against him being this entrepreneur, his family, her family, they were all kind of beating up on him, and he understood why she would be upset. But this was his passion, and he went for it anyway.
They almost did an intervention on him.
That's right. That's right. They kind of all got together, and they were telling him he needed to be responsible because he had this young family. And he said, well, they were right, but I need it. I understand that calling, and I also understand that frustration when people are telling you, what the hell is wrong with you? Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? And I used to feel bad when people said that to me. And then I learned. When they say to me now, are you out of your mind? I'm like, yes. Because I do want to be out of my mind. I want to be out of that old mindset map of all that crap of limitations that I was taught. I want to be within the mind of who I am, of possibilities, of endless possibilities. If they think I'm out of my mind, it means I'm in that endless possibility. I can do anything, and if you get in that mind, you can. So I'm very excited today when people say, "Are you out of your mind?" But years ago, I felt beat up. I did.
Yeah. Well, he also circled. You know how we've mentioned that in all the chapters, he circles back, and sometimes he goes ahead to another one and pulls information and concepts in from the different ones. He uses initiative a lot in this one, and he says that's how you get recognized. That's how you get appreciated. That's how you stand out. That's how you stand out and do more. You choose what you want to do and whether or not you want to do it. So it's up to you. It's up to your initiative.
Well, he circled through them all again. Chief definite aim, self-confidence, enthusiasm. He goes through them all. This is this beautiful progression, and it really is. As you read it, you go, oh, my God. It's true when he says, go back now and read this chapter because it'll make more sense to you.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And the next chapter is pleasing personality.
Ooh.
And you want to know what? If you have self-confidence, not a big freaking I'm better than you shit and ego, okay? Self-confidence is a whole different thing. If you have initiative and leadership and enthusiasm, and if you do more than what you paid for, you got to please some personality.
Yeah.
You just do.
And he ends the chapter by saying, when you do more than what you're getting paid for, you become a leader. And being a leader is what is the road to success.
All right.
So,
cool.
Bingo.
I'm
done.
I mean, I could go on and on, but we'd be here for 3 more hours. So I have to leave because we always go, ooh, and then I think, oh my God, no, this hit so many buttons for me. So I'm being truthful here. If you have any comments about this, come visit us at our Facebook pages. Ask questions or tell us what you think the chapter was about.
Yeah, I thought this was a kind of a controversial chapter, unless you started thinking of it differently and putting on different hats when you read it. So I'd be very interested to see or hear what people have to say about it.
Right. And also, I really mean that. If you're like in a job that you go, well, I don't like my freaking job, so I don't want to do more than I'm paid for, you know, you need to find out what it is where you need to be. And I really recommend that process fulfillment needs. It is over at my Facebook page, Ellie Walsh Uplifts. Contact me. I'll send you to the link directly. Contact Carol. And leave us your comments and your questions and what have you.
Right.
And we will be back next week with pleasing personalities.
I have my 4 fulfillment needs taped right on my computer at all times.
Excellent. All right.
So
we good?
Till next week. Right.
Okay, cool.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.